calling all black women of the congregation. Come to the front of the congregation, all black women. We need a meeting. We need an emergency meeting, okay? This is getting out of control. But before we get into things, I am btaylortv and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be talking about Sexxy Red and Sukihana and how we need to just straight up cancel them. Okay, I don't try to stop anyone's bag. I don't try to put another woman down. But what we're not going to do is let these women be the representation of all black women. Black women, we need to understand something. Our reputation is important. The way we are presented to the world is important. And it seems like we are the only ones in the community that are allowing the bottom tier of our community to be the forefront of the representation of black women. What happened where our great-grandmothers and our grandmothers and great-great-great-grandmothers understood the protection of image. And it seems like we are forgetting that we are letting the ones who are the superstars, the artists, the entertainers, the actors, or whatever, be the representation, and they don't put us in the best light. See, when you look at other communities, and I'll just use the white community, they have a broad genre of different type of white people. You have the rednecks, you have the country people, you have the pop, you have the love, you have the R&B, you have a genre of just different type of actors, okay, of entertainers and artists. But it just seems like with our community and our culture, there's a certain type of culture, subculture, which is the hood culture, the aesthetic ghetto girl culture that is all of a sudden being pushed to the forefront like it's cool with the long nails and the colorful hair and the long lashes. And we try to embrace that and say that is our culture, but it's not. It's not all of black people. And what's happening is that black people, we come together on certain topics because we can relate to our skin color. But let's be honest here. We are not a monolith, okay? Black women, we are not a monolith. Somebody like me, does not relate to somebody like Sukihana and a Sexxy Red. But are there black women who do represent that and who relate to that? Yes, and I understand that. But do they deserve, let me ask you a question. Do women like that deserve a front and center stage to the world as a representation, as a whole for all black women? Or should we keep that certain part of our community hidden, tucked away, and not represented to the entire world? I'm being serious. Because what do we want here? Do we want representation? And what kind of representation do we want? How do we want to be represented to the world? Because this here, where these women are making trash music, okay, that can influence our younger girls who are very impressionable. Okay, let's be honest here. A lot of parents understand, they get mad and say, hey, my child looks up to you. Because nowadays with social media influence, these stars are more influential to younger children and teenagers than their own parents. Your parents can be doctors, educated, put you in a nice neighborhood and home. And for some reason, there will be a lot of kids who are influenced with what is cool, what is popular, what is in, what is trending. They think of the parents as the old and not fun part. Okay, so when a mother is telling her daughter to not dress a certain way or not carry herself a certain way, she's going to be like, you're old, you're not cool, you're not in style, you're not something that I care to be, because none of my friends will be impressed with that. They're going to open up their TikTok app and they're going to see women like Sukihana and Sexxy Red and go, that's what I want to be right now. I'm not worried about the future. I'm not worried about being married. I'm not worried about anything right now because I am a ruthless teenager and I have the world ahead of me. They have that type of mindset where they are easily influenced. I can say that because I was raised in a very strict and religious household, but culture influenced me. My friends and peers influenced me. I had friends who were, super religious and safe, and I didn't want to hang around them because it wasn't fun. It wasn't exciting. And we have to admit that it's scientifically known that younger children like excitement. Teenagers like excitement. They like to break barriers. They like to, they don't like the everyday routine. They want to experience life, and they're excited about life, and they know that they have a long future ahead of them. So they move a certain way. So yes, culture is very influential to the youth. Okay. I looked up more to Beyonce than my own grandparents who were raising me. Okay. That was more influential to me because I was a young and impressionable, naive teenager. And until we start accepting that and saying, you should be teaching your children. Parents do teach their children, but they are also fighting against a bigger system. They are fighting against social media. They are fighting against what's on TV. They are fighting against their peers, okay? That's why there is such thing as called a peer pressure. There's a thing called peer pressure for a reason, because you are pressured by your peers. And let's be honest, a lot of parents aren't raising their children nowadays. So now your child is friends with other children who parents are not raising them. So guess who's raising them? The streets, culture, social media, influencers, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And guess what? Those children are influencing your children. So if you think this is not a problem, you are sadly mistaken. Black women, what do we want? What do we want? Okay? Because as I get older and I realize, I'm like, wow, I can't even believe I'm speaking like this, because I was such a free-spirited person, like, do whatever you want. F the rules, who cares? But then as I get mature, and that's how I know a lot of people who think a certain way lack a certain type of maturity. And also they are not parents, because once I became a mother, my whole mindset and the way I thought about things, I no longer thought about myself or what doesn't affect me or it's none of my business because it doesn't affect me. I think about my children. I think about the future. I think about what they're going to be impacted by once I am dead and gone. That is my concern, my legacy. What are my children are going to be left with dealing with? My grandchildren, my great grandchildren, because when you become a mother, okay, there's something that sparks differently. You think differently. So when I talk to other women who think differently than me, I try to see if they're mothers, and they're not. So I understand that I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who have children who they know that are going to be impacted by our decisions now and into the future. My great grandchildren, my great grandchildren. I fear that because even though I haven't met them, I still love them. I still care for them. I still want the best for them. I pray that, I'm one of those ancestors that's looking over my grandchildren and guiding over them in the best way possible to make better decisions than I have. Okay, so when I look at Sexxy Red and I look at Sukihana, all I can think back is when she was international. She traveled internationally. And if I can find that video, I'll place it right here.
I'm trying to get my coochie stretch. I'm trying to get my coochie stretch and eat a nigga ass. We be eating nigga ass today in London. Period, baby. I'm trying to get this coochie stretch. I'm trying to get my coochie stretch. I'm trying to get my coochie stretch and eat a nigga ass. We be eating nigga ass today.
She literally was making a fool of herself. And I don't know if you travel internationally, but from what I've learned so far is that Black women, we do not have the best representation of ourselves internationally. They think we act a certain way. Either we're Beyonce, because think about it. When you're traveling and a lot of people walk down the street, they go, Beyonce, Beyonce. They say that because that's all they know. That's all they're exposed to. But imagine if they go, Sukihana, Sexxy Red, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I wouldn't want you to mistake me for those women. Unless their money is inside of my bank account. That's the only way I would want, you to mistake my money, okay? But as far as looks, as far as how I carry myself, my morals, my aesthetics, no, that is not a good representation. And I'm sorry, but I cringe. I cringe when I see these women, because why are they being pushed all of a sudden? Why are these two the duo all of a sudden? Why is someone like Drake giving them a thumbs up? Why are they always being talked about and pushed into the forefront, and their music is being pushed into the forefront, and this whole ghetto girl aesthetic is being pushed to the forefront? You now see a lot of these new rappers coming up understanding that this ghetto girl twerking, shorts up my butt like a thong is cool. And I'll use Travis Barker's daughter as an example. She was obviously raised in Beverly Hills. She's never had to struggle a day in her life. She had two parents, a very successful father, and I'm pretty sure her mother probably did not work. Okay, and look how she turned out. Look how grown she looks. She literally looks like she is 20 something years old, and she's probably only about, I think at this point, she's about 16, 15 years old. Long nails, long lashes, wearing wigs and wigs, talking with this, kind of aesthetic, ghetto girl aesthetic. And she has never even really been in the hood. So where did she get that from? Where did she talk like that? Who taught her how to talk like that? If they're influencing these rich kids in Beverly Hills, what do you think the culture is doing to regular folks' children? Okay, because even if you are that ghetto girl, even if you are the girl from the hood, like Fantasia is a perfect example. She couldn't even read or say things correctly, but she learned. She didn't stay dumbed down and uneducated and ignorant. Okay, she knew that knowledge is power. She knew that wisdom is power. Knowing how to read is power. If you think back on the history of reading, it was the closest thing to wealth. Because if you can give somebody a book, you are giving them power. You are giving them power to be wealthy. You are giving them wisdom. You are giving them knowledge. You are giving them the key to life success. That's why a lot of successful, rich, and wealthy people read books. And I myself is challenging myself because I stopped reading books. And now I'm like, you know what? I want to test myself and start opening a book and reading it. Reading certain books have the key to success. And it's not cool to be walking around acting like we cannot pronunciate words. We cannot speak correctly. We say things incorrectly. We're always loud and yelling and twerking. That is not a good representation of Black women. And I am getting sick and tired of it. And if you are a Black woman, I want to hear your thoughts below. Because we are hearing it from the men and it's falling on deaf ears. But as a Black woman, I want you guys to come to the congregation, please. We have a meeting. We have an emergency meeting. And I need you guys to comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you agree or disagree, let's have the discussion. I think this is probably one of the most important videos that I have made in recent times, because I am getting something in my spirit. It's just like bothered so bad by these women. And even me, at times, I catch myself on TikTok, right? And you like my voice? It turn you on? And I'm like, oh, that's Sexxy Red. Like, I even made a TikTok about it. And I was just like, wait a second, hold on. What am I doing in my grown age? Okay. Like, if I'm influenced a little bit to listen to some of these girls, I can't imagine what younger girls are being influenced by. I have younger sisters, and I know that I'm going to have grandchildren and great grandchildren. And that's going to be, I just don't want that being passed down to them. And knowing that this is being passed down and the culture is moving the way it is, and people are going to treat my children or my grandchildren specifically the women, a different way based on the music and what's being represented to the public world. This is not cute. This is actually embarrassing. And this video of Sukihana and Sexxy Red being carried by two white men who are at the golf field being used as puppets or entertainment, and like these men are posing with them as if they're animals, as if they're like, just like, oh, look at me, I got this thing in my hand, ha 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 ha, look at there, ha ha, yeah. Like the way that just looks so degrading and embarrassing, because we know the history of that. It's just, I don't know, what does that spark when you see this video of these ladies being carried by these white men that's, and they're professionally dressed, in their golf club outfits, and here go them with their ass out, with their colored hair and with their tongues out their mouth. Okay, y'all, I'm really passionate about this. I'm really upset about this. And I need all women to explain to me why this is okay. Because this cannot be okay. This cannot be the representation of Black women. I love us too much for this shit to be the representation of us. I'm getting tired of it. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and log off because I am blazing right now. But I had to turn on my camera right quick and record this video because I am fuming. Okay, so go ahead and let me know your thoughts below. I'm gonna make this video as short as possible. I'm not gonna make it too long, but I want to hear your thoughts. And men, if you want to add in, because I know y'all have daughters and I know y'all care, y'all have wives, y'all have sisters. Have your sisters or the women around you have been influenced, and what have stopped them from being influenced? Or were you once influenced by this culture and then stopped being influenced? I want to know your thoughts below. Go ahead and I will check you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.